All right, welcome to another episode of Global Politics Africa. Today we're going to be focused on South Africa and on the crazy, I don't know if he calls himself colored or half colored. I think he probably thinks he's fully colored, Gayton Mckenzie, who seems to be a little bit of a hypocrite. Now, he's had led a campaign, a political campaign, and actually a legal campaign against open chats for saying racist things about colored people, like colored people are crazy, they do drugs, and they're mentally unstable. But there are records that show maybe 10, 54, I think 2011, 2010, he was using the K word for black people. Interesting because his mom is black. And in defending himself, he says his wife is black and his mom is black, so he's not racist. But he was using the K word for blacks, and a lot of people aren't happy about this. Some people are even calling for Ramaphosa to have him step down from his position in the coalition government and in parliament. I don't think it's going to go that far, but it may go that far because South Africa has a very sensitive racial past, and they have a strong constitution which doesn't stand for racism. Now, Gayton Mckenzie has apologized for his statements and saying that they're taken out of context, and it was because he was mad and responding to other people who said racist things. But it's interesting that he would use the K word, and he's made statements about black diamonds, which is derogatory about upper middle class or middle class black people who are finally getting wealthy during the new government, especially through black empowerment. And he also has a history of talking badly about Zimbabweans, Nigerians, and foreigners and saying they need to be kicked out of the country. So I don't care if his mom is black. I think the guy is racist. PA itself is a white supremacist. They claim to stand for coloreds and people of color and blacks, but they're aligned with the DA. The DA is like their big brother, like their father, and they do whatever the DA wants. And they're in league with the ANC to undermine what I consider to be real progress in South Africa. They're against EFF, they're against MK Party, but they're okay with the DA party. Now, in response to all of this, um, Political Party Action SA and the African Transformation Movement have filed official complaints with the South African Human Rights Commission in August. And we're going to see what happens with that. What I want to talk about here is I'm going to ask you, Alex, and I'm going to ask you, Said. Do you think this guy should be still be in government, or should he step down? Especially in a country, this is not America, where you can be racist and still hold a government position. But in a country with South Africa's history and all that they've been through, do you think this guy should have to step down? I'm going to start off with Alex. Yeah.
Um, I feel like if Gayton, Mckenzie gets removed, it wouldn't be the end of the world. It'd actually be healthy for the
Yeah.
system. And, ministers, we should remember they're not royalty, they're public servants. And
Yeah.
if you trash the values you're supposed to uphold, in this case, building culture, unity, and dignity, then yeah, there should be that consequence that he gets removed.
Yeah.
And looking at it in the bigger picture, would removing him fix the racism in South Africa? No. Would it send a message that the cabinet isn't a safe house for bad behavior? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Politics only works if accountability isn't selective. You can't be tossing people out for bad language on one side while giving your own guy a naughty corner pass. And so my take, yeah, you should be removed, but I feel like it really just showed how separated we are. Like that hate between coloreds and black people. It just really showed how intense it is and how serious it is. Because
Yeah.
if the leader who is a colored could say those things, and also the black people on that podcast can say those things, and the hate is definitely there, and it's just bigger than Gayton.
Yeah. Now he
But he
said these
should.
things. He said these things 11 years ago, so he might say, "Well, I'm a changed person." I don't know. I do know that he has made a lot of negative statements about people from Zimbabwe, and he'll say that it's because they're breaking the law. Fine, but he just tends to me. He seems to me to be a racist person. We know that in the DA, several guys had to step down for making racially insensitive comments, and they were brought back. So I think we need this accountability. Same thing if someone makes, Malema almost came under fire for Kill the Boys. he claims it's just music. So he got lucky. But even if he makes a statement that's racist against whites, he should be asked to step down because, as you said, even though it's just for optics and it's not going to change the country, it's very symbolic, and you can't have these people in this position, especially in a country like South Africa, which has had
Yeah.
so much racial violence and hate in the past. I think it's unacceptable. What are your thoughts,
Yeah.
Saeed?
Yeah, I don't think we all know African leaders don't resign, they don't step down.
Yeah,
So
he's not.
expecting us to expecting
Wait,
Mackenzie to step
but here's the
down
thing:
or
before
resign
we
is
continue,
something that we
Ramaphosa
know
should
that he
make him
won't
step
do.
down. Ramaphosa made got rid of the U.S. embassy ambassador, South African ambassador, for calling Trump racist, and he fired the guy. Ramaphosa fired him. So the question is, if Ramaphosa can do
Yeah,
that,
I think
why
yeah,
can't he fire? Why
it
can't he
now boils
take?
down on the president to decide if he wants to keep that kind of person as his minister or not. But personally,
I don't think he's a
saying that
minister, but
him
yeah.
should resign after he has come out to deny that he's
Oh
not
yeah.
racist and what he said is not what he meant, and like he already denied it. So
I
it
think
is
you're
now
taking
left
me
for
too literally. What I really
the
mean is that
president to.
should he be forced to step down?
He's already been forced, right? Now we are talking about it. We know he's supposed to step down because
No,
what he
but
said is not
should he
something
be
that
forced? What I'm saying is that he's not being forced now. They're only investigating it. But we're saying is should the South Africa, based on its constitution and based on the leadership of Ramaphosa, should they make this guy step down?
Yeah, I quite agree with that. I think he should step down because he, from the position that he's holding, he should know that there are some things that he's not supposed to say, and there are some ways that he should be acting or something. So, like, for what he said, I saw the video, and like, you can't just say that you're a minister for goodness sake.
I've
So
seen so many
the
racial videos
using
by
that
him.
keyword,
Yeah.
not it at all.
He still does it. He talks bad. The way he talks about foreigners, black foreigners, is really bad, and he crosses the line. But the only defense he can have is that he said it 11 years ago, so he shouldn't be held accountable for that. That's a story for another day. What do you think, Kunle?
Yeah, he should be held
Yes,
accountable for it.
I was going to
But
say
like I
that.
said, now, but that assuming. Okay,
All right,
continue,
let
Mr.
Kunle go.
Kule, please.
Okay, so I was going to say that the first thing, as Alex had pointed out, you have to be able to provide basic justice to the common man, or provide the appearance of it. That is the success behind any world order. And when you have a member of government that is not defending the pillars and institutions of that government, of the constitution, because they are sworn to defend these things. As she said, they are servants. Yes, they are servants of the state. They are not there to come and start uprooting the state. And being a patriot does not equate being xenophobic. When you start exerting negative negative energy towards your fellow brothers in Africa, you yourself are even an African, but you start throwing all this negative nonsense all about. You're dispelling disunity. If you look at the ethnic map of Africa, there is absolutely no single country that is born from South Africa to Nigeria that is based on ethnic boundaries. We're all different groups that have been brought together in an artificial state to try to make things work. So we are all brothers at the end of the day. There's nothing we can do about that. We just have to make the best of the shit show that we've been given. So if he's going to go around being divisive in a nation that has had to battle, I mean, it was, along with Palestine, the two last bastions of white colonialist supremacy, where they were trying to find a way to dominate Africa, trying to find a way to dominate the Middle East. South Africa, through Africans, fought back, and we pushed that evil out of them. And we can't allow it to start growing small weeds from the bit, because we're dropping the ball. South Africa has problems. Well, we all have problems, but we can't allow that to come and destroy the humanity that that state is trying to build. He's not doing his country a service by doing so. He should be
Yeah,
removed.
but this guy is to be honest with you, he's a shyster. If you know what I mean by, he's sort of like I'm not saying it in a bad way. He's a troublemaker. You can tell when he was young in school, he was a troublemaker. He's a
Yeah,
tricky
that's
little.
another thing we should look
Gay
at. Is he
Mckenzie is a
doing a
tricky.
good job?
He's
Is he
a
doing
tricky
a good
person.
job as a minister?
He's a
It's a
very shifty
distraction
person.
from the real problem, which is the oligarchy and the unequal distribution of wealth.
Gayton Mckenzie is he's a very talkative person. He's the type of person that is friends with everybody, friends with the mafia, friends with the priest, friends with the prostitute, friends with the people who are against sex. He knows how to talk. He's a con artist. That's the best word. He's a con artist. I don't know how he got to this level in politics, but he's doing very well for himself in a unity government with big boys like Ramaphosa and Steenhuisen and co. But he's basically a street guy. I'm not saying in a bad way. He's street smart. Let's put it like that. What do you think, Alex? Am I right? That guy's shifty, man. Yeah, he's a good talker too. What do you think, Alex? Yeah. The
Yeah,
point I'm making.
definitely.
Sorry, before I go to you, the
Mm,
point I'm making is that he's not a serious statesman. He's a player. Go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, Mckenzie does love playing the outsider,
Yeah.
the rebel, the truth teller. If he gets axed, even if he gets axed, he'll wait like a badge of honor and say, "See, they're scared of me." Like this,
Yeah.
that means firing him doesn't end the drama. It just moves
Yeah.
the circus tent outside Parliament. So yeah,
Yeah.
he's a rebel.
Does he have
And
gold teeth? I don't know. It's not relevant, but does he have gold teeth? I think he's got gold teeth too. Let me stop.
I think he might have one. I'm not sure.
Gold
I
teeth.
haven't really looked.
He's like those guys from the '80s that you see on Martin TV show. I'm serious. The guy's a trickster, but I think he needs to be more professional, like Kunle said. What else do you think about that, Kunle? Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, he does need to be more professional. And this government is under the spotlight for so many different reasons right now. Not just
yeah.
racism, but corruption as well. Fighting against all sorts of enemies on the outside, leading bricks and so on and so forth. You don't want that sort of
He needs to be
nonsense
censored at least.
flying
He
around.
needs to get a warning and a censor at least. Yeah.
Yeah, you
Anyway,
don't want that sort of nonsense flying around.
what are your thoughts,
The thing
Mister?
is,
Right, yeah,
the
go
thing
ahead.
is, I really don't know why this our African leadership they don't like us, like they don't like their own people. Because what as in you took the position to serve the people. What is it the problem that for you to just make sure you serve the people and make sure your people are living well, but like at the end of the day you just seeing them looting, and same thing happening in South Africa, Zambia, Angola. Man,
It's
there's
because,
something wrong with our African leaders. I wouldn't lie to you, man. I'm
but
just, like when I just think about it, I'm just like,
look at Macron. Macron doesn't have to do that because Europeans come together, but they're killing black people, causing terrorism in Nigeria. So black people, we have to do that because we've been held out and we've been taught to hate each other. I always say black people are more racist towards blacks than whites are. We hate each other. In South Africa, they don't get mad when they see whites who stay over who are immigrating, but when they see blacks who immigrate, they get mad at the blacks. So we black people hate each other and have an inferiority complex. Mckenzie is no different. And Mckenzie comes from the hood. He's from the hood. So now he has money and he's in a big government with Ramaphosa and Steenhuisen and billionaires. And they're giving him money and his family's taken care of. And he has to do the dirty work, which is to join a unified government, which doesn't want blacks to have health care, which doesn't want colored people to have health care, his own people too, which is holding down the poor. So he's selling out his people because he comes from the streets. This guy, when he was younger, probably had enemies who tried to kill him. Now nobody can touch him. So he has some power, but his power comes from the white man. His power comes from the white man. That's basically it. Because the DA is the overlord of the PA. What are your thoughts?
That's the
Go, Kule, go ahead, Kule. Go
Yeah, I
ahead.
was just going to say that's the beauty of the difference between black Nigeria and all the blacks in the rest of the world. We don't see black and white in Nigeria. We see green. It's the color of your money.
Money,
I,
yeah.
I saw a taxi driver get upset with one Oimbo and he was like, "Get out of here. You Bulgarian, fake 419 Oimbo because you're from Bulgaria." I
I
know
have a
because
story
he
when I was
doesn't
in
have money. Get out of my car. I've
yeah.
actually seen that before. Very
That's like
proud.
Tinubu would take money from China and from America. It doesn't matter as long as it's money.
Yeah, if they don't really
Same thing with
care.
Ramaphosa. Ramaphosa
It's all
doesn't
a
care about
game to
color.
them. Yeah,
Ramaphosa doesn't
it's
care
all a
about
game.
color either. He cares
Yeah.
about Ramaphosa just wants to make his money. He's dangerous. That's why he's dangerous, because he'll sell out anybody. It's not about race. And the thing about Ramaphosa is that unlike Zuma and Malema and those guys, he doesn't have any corruption. He doesn't need corruption because he owns stocks in Anglo-British gold and mining, so he doesn't need to be corrupt because he's one of the board of members for a group of people that are worth billions. So he doesn't have to be corrupt. Same thing with people like George Bush. George Bush was never corrupt, but he killed millions of people in the Middle East because his dad owns an oil company. His dad was president. So when you're rich, white or black, and you're connected to powerful people, you don't have to break the law. You see what I'm saying, Kule?
I,
Yeah.
I beg to differ. I think that's not the case with
Here we
our
go.
own president here, Tinubu. He's rich. He's way rich as hell
But
before
he
becoming
breaks the
president.
law.
But look at what he's doing to
Oh
us.
yeah, that's
So
Nigeria.
that
Nigeria's
doesn't apply
different. We
to
break the law in Nigeria. In Nigeria, we break
Eh,
the law. But
that
you know why
that
he has
doesn't
to do
do-
it?
it
But here's the
doesn't
difference.
it
Here's
doesn't
the
work with
difference.
our president.
Everybody
But here's
breaks the
That
law
is
in
what they
Nigeria
even told.
somewhere or the
That is
other.
what they
Okay.
even told during the
Said, here's the
campaign.
difference.
The wife
Said,
too was
here's the
saying
difference.
that they are rich.
Saeed, here's the difference. He has to do
Yeah.
it because he still has to answer to the CIA and to the U.S. government, and they can take him out anytime they want. But in general, Nigeria has a problem with corruption. People steal just for fun. Rich people steal for fun in Nigeria. That's true. All right, let's
Don't
go
look
for
out
last
for the
thoughts.
people.
Last thoughts. Alex. Yeah.
Final thoughts. This, I mean, Gayton Mckenzie, is just, it just gives you the high definition in South Africa's politics, which is way too familiar. You know, you've got a minister calling for justice while sitting on his own pile of bad receipts. You know, opposition parties smelling blood, you know, and watchdogs lighting up with boards and court papers. If there's one lesson here, it's this: you can't lead a department built on national pride and culture while treating your own weights
Oh yeah,
like
he's the minister of culture. Sorry.
disposable memes. Yeah. You know, South Africa's history made language radioactive for a reason. You know, every slur literally carries a weight. You know, there's history there to that word.
Very painful.
So, yeah, whether Mackenzie stays or goes, the bigger test isn't about him. It's about whether leaders of all stripes will be held to the same standard. You know, no rules for the other guys, free pass for our friends, because if accountability is optional, it's not accountability. It's just
Yeah.
politics as usual.
And
So
it is.
either,
Go ahead. Go ahead.
yeah,
Sorry. Yeah.
okay, yeah, either Mackenzie takes real responsibility or someone is gonna take his seat and probably his parking spot too.
But isn't that funny that the guy is the head of culture and sports, and the guy is making these types of statements? Man,
It's
that's
crazy.
Yeah.
yeah, it's crazy. Kool-Aid,
Doesn't
last
add
thought.
up.
Yeah, take us
Once
out.
at all.
Yeah. So it's been an interesting day. We've looked at
Oh, before you
these.
go on, I checked on AI. Gave him Mckenzie doesn't have any gold teeth. Okay, go ahead.
That's thankful.
Okay.
We've looked at South Africa trying to battle with the ghosts that have bedeviled it over the many decades. It's won and lost many battles, but I think this is one of the many battles it needs to win because it is a secular state. It must stand for basic justice for the common man, the Rainbow Nation, leading us the world in how to be ourselves diverse and strong in that diversity.
All right, guys.
Shall I sign out?
Yeah, sign us out, my friend. I
So
still remain
from
choosing with
myself, the fantastic Alex, the soulful Saeed, and the masterful Mustafa, I bid you farewell, adieu. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see
Like
you
and
on the next
subscribe.
one.
We'll see you
Like,
guys next week.
subscribe, and share.
Yeah. Thank you, guys. Very good show. Okay.
All right.
As usual, I prepared 1 minute before.